Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back again with another reaction video, and we are going to be looking at what are the actual Illuminati.
Are we the Illuminati? Are we? I don't know.
I don't know. People post in the comments that they think we're a part of the
Illuminati. Whatever that means.
But if we're a part of the Illuminati, we better figure out what they're all about.
Oops! Accidentally ended up in the Illuminati.
So we're gonna watch this movie or this video done by the Infographics Show, and we won't keep you waiting. Let's get into it.
Bill Gates, Beyonce, Oprah, the Infographics Show. For years, rumors have swirled that powerful organizations and celebrities have all been part of a global movement to control humanity and shape the way it thinks. In most cases, this movement takes the form of the infamous Illuminati, a group allegedly dedicated to absolute control over all mankind. But who actually are the Illuminati? What do they really want? And how do you know this video itself is not just more Illuminati propaganda meant to throw you off the scent from the truth? The name Illuminati actually comes from the Latin plural illuminatus, or enlightened. The name is inspired by the idea of enlightening oneself through knowledge, and would evolve to signify the breaking of a man's bonds of ignorance through education and reason. But it all started with one man who really hated his bosses. Adam Weishaupt was born in 1748, and in 1773 he gained employment at the University of Ingolstadt as a professor of canon law. Basically, the laws that govern canons both on a battlefield and on ships. Okay, fine, actually canon law is the guidelines and regulations which are established by a religious authority for the purpose of running a government of a religious organization. In essence, Weishaupt was an expert on church law, but was himself not actually a member of the clergy. This would be a bit of a problem in a university which was mostly run by clergy, and not just any clergy, but Jesuits. Jesuits were themselves established in the 16th century with the approval of Pope Paul III. Their official mission was global evangelization with a special focus in education and helping different sects of Christians to work together. Jesuits were sort of the SEAL Team 6 of Christianity and were told to expect to go anywhere in the world and suffer any adversity for the sake of helping the poor and uneducated. Jesuits, however, soon became a thorn in the side of the European powers, as they were a little too good at their job. Jesuits established special settlements in many colonial territories and refused to allow the populations under their care to be enslaved as local governments and businessmen wished to. With slave labor being critical to the economies of far-flung colonies, Jesuits very quickly got a bad rap for standing in the way of economic progress. It should be noted that Jesuits weren't completely opposed to slavery. You have to remember that this was a time when slavery was a widespread and accepted practice. White Europeans themselves had been enslaved just several hundred years earlier. Jesuits were, however, opposed to the brutal conditions slaves endured, seeing no need for slaves to be treated like animals. Nothing, not even religion, can stand in the way of economic progress, so in 1773, Pope Clement XIV ordered the dissolution of the Jesuit order. However, in many places the Jesuits remained in power, such as the University of Ingolstadt, where Adam Weishaupt found himself teaching. Under attack from all sides, the Jesuits in control of the university attempted to suppress any staff that wasn't part of the clergy, including Weishaupt himself. Frustrated by what he believed were outdated views, Weishaupt turned to Freemasonry, but by this point the Freemason order had become a day club for rich kids who wanted to play at philosophy, as opposed to today where it's a day club for bored middle-aged men who want to play at philosophy. Unsatisfied, Weishaupt decided he'd make his own, even cooler club, and only his very best friends or those he thought worthy could join. At first, 6 to...
Let this be a lesson to all employers out there. You give their employees a rough time. They might start an uprising and create some giant new movement that takes down everything, takes down the whole establishment.
I kind of like how free we are in this modern world, like you are free to, I guess, be a dick boss if you want, but I'm free to get the hell out of there, which I have done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this, for some reason, this is making me think about just like the spoiled brat kind of day and age we live in. And I don't mean that like negatively. I'm not trying to accuse anybody. Sometimes it's easy to get a little bit like, this isn't right. It's not quite perfect. But then you think of a time when it was like, well, we need slaves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so nice to not live in a day where it's a given that you have to be a slave. although I see forces rising that were like, that was a better, people used to fear for their jobs. I had a boss once tell me that, man, men used to fear for their jobs.
Yeah.
Like lamenting that men didn't fear for their jobs anymore.
Yeah.
One of those like real manly men. Yeah. Men guys used to fear for their jobs.
You can't take advantage and get people to do all the things we don't want to do.
Yeah, and then there's also like realistic realism too to keep in mind. There's like people that are like, hey man, like these bills got to be paid somehow. I hear your like little bratty rant there, Justin, but when the rubber meets the road, somebody has to do the work. Yeah. But like I was just at a college yesterday and they had a robot friggin' dog going up and down stairs and there's, like I'm hopeful that we are working towards an age where if you want to be a philosopher, that's fine. I'm just saying, all I'm trying to point out is I appreciate the day and age we live in. Yeah. That if you want to, we're still living in this safety bubble where almost anybody, if they really want to just shake off the shackles of like ideology, like things have to be a way, there's a lot of opportunity to like, wait a second, if I just chill out and don't be informed by like all these different people, I realize I can gravitate to the types of people I want to be around. I can have conversations with the people I want to be around and do what I want. It's a spoiled time that we're in right now. And I'm just appreciating it before the bubble bursts.
And you kind of like get to choose your perspective. You can choose the perspective of like, we need to make things better. And, you can choose to have the perspective, like you were saying, like we need to get back to where it was. And you can choose to,
there's so many different perspectives
of like, just be thankful for where it is. There's lots of perspectives.
I'm thankful for where it is, but I sense in the ethereal realm right now that there are some people that are just like pining for the party to be over and for the reckoning to happen to some people. You know what I mean? Oh, you're going to see the other shoe's going to drop. I sense that, but there will always be people. There will always be people that are just clever and know how to carve out an easier life than the person next to them know how to, and I'm saying, how do you know that if things get brutal, you wouldn't be relegated to the freaking slave class for some reason that's out of your control?
Yeah.
Sometimes these people assume that they're tougher than they are. It's like, let me switch hats here from philosopher nice guy into vicious, biting, teething, competitive guy. You might be surprised at what I'm willing to switch gears to, Not the viewer. I don't mean to threaten anybody in particular. Yeah. I'm just saying that appreciate this.
Yeah.
I don't know why we went so far off. Let's get back on track.
Weishaupt's best buds joined his secret new club, which Weishaupt created in order to spread the ideas of enlightenment. Despite what your edgelord Facebook bestie might rant about on his wall, the Illuminati wasn't interested in liberating man from religion, but rather wished to reform the way that religion was practiced and imposed. Weishaupt believed that science and religion should be partners, not competitors, in defining the world, and that people should have a free choice when it came to either. The first Illuminati had 3 membership tiers: Novice, Minerval, and Illuminated Minerval, with Minerval referring to the Roman goddess of wisdom Minerva. The goal was to create a state of liberty and moral equality. The only problem was that the powers that be had little interest in such a radical agenda for the time. If commoners were free after all, well then how could they possibly be exploited for personal gain? This is an idea free market capitalists struggle with to this day. Heavily influenced by Freemasonry, or really just blatantly ripping it off, Weishaupt created a series of elaborate rituals to be practiced at Illuminati meetings. Members were given secret names taken out of their favorite parts of antiquity. Weishaupt himself, for example, took the name of Spartacus, no doubt because he saw himself as leading a rebellion of mental slaves fighting for their freedom. As the membership roster grew from 9 individuals to 2,500 though, it was clear more ranks were needed, and Weishaupt created 13 degrees of initiation split up into 3 classes. The first few orders of initiates were known as Illuminatus Minor. Then came the Illuminatus Dirigens, and lastly, the top tier of Illuminati were simply known as the Kings. We're not saying Weishaupt lost the plot somewhere along the way, but a man who set out to enlighten people and free them from oppressive government and ideology both ended up making a secret society where he was king, and that really speaks to the futility of man. So what did the Illuminati actually do? Well, they attempted to spread the ideas of enlightenment and reform through the upper crust of European society, but were never in fact any way close to political power of their own. The high point of this secret society would come in 1777 when Charles Theodore took the throne of Bavaria and used the opportunity to spread the same liberal values the Illuminati themselves were espousing. However, Charles Theodore would prove to be a weak monarch, and soon the ruling elites pressured him to back off the liberalization of Bavaria. This would eventually lead to a direct crackdown on the Illuminati itself, with their liberal agenda deemed a danger to the security and safety of the state. The Illuminati basically killed itself, as its members boasted publicly of the power they wielded, though they wielded little said power, and openly criticized the monarchy, something that only America could afford to do because it was exactly thousands of miles away from the nearest monarch. Membership lists of Illuminati members began to be leaked to the public, and the discovery of many Illuminati in positions of moderate power led to a general panic over secret societies among the ruling elite. Charles Theodore banned any and all secret societies, causing Weishaupt to flee for his life. Today, the Illuminati are blamed for everything from war to poverty in third world nations to Harambe. And yet the historical fact is the Illuminati was never more than a moderately successful boys' club that managed to wield a small amount of power in Bavaria before it was disbanded. Conspiracy theories nevertheless abound concerning a modern Illuminati, probably because it's more comfortable for people to believe that even when insane, really stupid stuff is being done by our governments, it's because someone is secretly pulling the strings to a master plan, instead of the simple truth that sometimes we put idiots in charge. But then again, that's exactly what we'd say if we were secretly part of the Illuminati.
Good video. Well done.
Yeah, where's the Illuminati now? Like, I've never met anyone. I've met Masons, but I've never met anyone who claimed to be a part of the Illuminati.
We've known Masons well. Like that would just didn't talk very much about their whole Mason. It'd be like, tell me about the Mason stuff. They'd be like, nah. You'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
I guess that's that then. There's a Mason lodge in the town I live in, and the windows, most of the windows are cemented in. Yeah. I don't see much activity go on.
I think even in Masonry, I think that was like something in the like 1900s. I think it's kind of like fading away now because a lot of those like old lodges, they're all like being bought up and turned into homes. There's one, between our towns that got bought and is now being turned into a home.
Yeah. So, the bottom line is there could totally be secret organizations running the world, in my opinion. There totally could be. There totally couldn't be. There's lots of things that are possible, but I don't have absolute knowledge, and neither does anyone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are some people that chain smoke 1,000 cigarettes in their garage that claim to have, know. They know, and you don't know. I'm like, you don't even know how to not be sketchy. You don't even know how to not do that. So what are you talking about? It's like that quote, you can tell somebody's stupid if they're not concerned, some version of that quote that's like, I can tell how smart someone is by how bothered they are. Because if you were smart and you knew you'd be bothered, I'm like, what a dumbass thing to say. You know what I mean? No, you should. It's the smartest person figures out how to be happy.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way of looking at it.
Sorry. I mean, that's the hill I'm going to just stand on today. I could be different tomorrow, but...
one of the interesting things on this video is like YouTube always knows how to like get you a little curious though, because I'm always surprised at the videos that get like blue disclaimers at the bottom of them. Like anytime you do like an Army of Satan reaction or, you can't talk about flat earth apparently, like on like YouTube, like there's always like a blue disclaimer on there. I'm like, why does YouTube need to warn us about the Illuminati, before we watch a movie on the Illuminati?
Well, there's the version of it where it's like, let the rats eat each other. Yeah. Let them sit there and talk about flat, whatever. Like, here's the thing. The Earth could be flat. It actually could be. You don't know until you've been to space. Have you been to space? Well, then it could be flat. You don't know. But if you waste that's the bigger problem. Like if I met somebody that was like, I have all the science here, the Earth's flat, I'd be like, are you okay? You've got do you have a family? Does anyone hug you? You know what I mean? What fucking difference does it make if the Earth is flat? Why did you waste your time proving this? Who cares? Who cares? They're gonna stop you. If there's vested interest in keeping the information buried, who the hell are you? If Donald Trump came forward and said the Earth is flat, I might be like, that's interesting. But never a kook. Get your life together first before you talk about flat Earths. And by the way, you can't get your life together while believing in flat Earth. You can't. So drop it. You know what I mean? You're not going to do anything. It's a distraction is the key word. Any of those things, any kind of secret thing that's not like easily, because some things you can like hold up and be like, hey, everybody, is this pink? 90% of people will be like, yeah, that's pink. But if you're like, I actually don't have the thing, but let me try to convince you that this thing is real, and everybody turns away and loses interests, you know what to cover first. Establish what's real first before you tackle something like whether the Earth is flat or not, and it's a conspiracy. Who cares? I actually don't care if the Earth is flat.
Or the Illuminati. Yeah, that's for another
Why
video.
would I care? I've got other things to do. Yeah. Am I alone? Am I a goblin chain smoking in a garage or not? You know?
Yeah, we won't get into the flat. Maybe we'll save that for another video just for fun.
Don't think about the Earth.
It might get censored and taken down. The Illuminati videos seem to I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this video.
I know, because suspiciously they sometimes don't make it.
Hopefully you guys liked our reaction on this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, choose the friend, and everyone till next time.
Stay spiritual.